Right, today is the 12th of December 2024, and I can tell you now, I'm not in a very fucking happy mood with one of the neighbours. Banging all fucking night. So he's banging to say, I'm going to fucking break in, I'm going to inject you with a HIV syringe, you're having your fucking brain smashed out, you're being fucking knifed, you're having your fucking door fucking kicked off, and to say that you're having your fucking life taken and being shot dead. This little bastard is just saying, under his breath, because you can hear what he's saying in his flat, is saying that you tried blowing the fucking place up with diesel, and saying that Matty was not the person that tried knifing down the staff door at supported housing, and saying that it's me. And then obviously it's getting nasty, so there's a lot of knocking, like knocking on the door, but excessively loud. This is the loudest night for banging since I've lived at Thorn House. So every so often Peter would be going out with possibly Shannon, I'm not sure who he's going out with, when he goes out, and when he comes back there's also banging underneath, so there's banging for, it could be a visitor even, it could be someone that's visiting the building. And to my knowledge, if this Matty's not in jail, then obviously he could be visiting the building, because to the information that's being mentioned in the threats that I'm getting at the moment, or the things that are being said, is basically implying that they're having communication with Matty, and possibly face to face as well as on the phone. That's just a possible theory, I don't exactly know where he is, but they're making the suggestion that with the stuff that's being said, that he's definitely not in jail, he's walking about and free. And that's okay, as long as it doesn't affect me or anything like that, but that's the problem. All these problems are coming back at me, and they're coming back at me to claim that I've raped Grace, which is one of the neighbours there, and digging at me to claim that I've raped Sadie Dando, and saying that you're having your life fucking taken and having your stuff fucking burgled, and saying that once you've had a burglary, we're making your life a fucking living hell, we're getting you off all fucking communications on the internet, we're going to smash your fucking phone up, and we're going to fucking smash you to fucking pieces, break your fucking arms and legs, kick your fucking teeth out, kick your fucking head around like a fucking football, and put you in a hospital bed basically. So I'm not exactly very fucking happy with the information that's being mentioned. And this banging was going on all night. This wasn't just a little bit of banging. Quite literally I was kept up all night because of it. So he would be knocking on the door or doing that, but like extra loud, stamping his feet in a way to say I'm going to do this and do that, the threats I just mentioned, mostly to break in or to inject me with HIV or to shoot me dead. Then there was a couple of gun sounds that are being fucking made on top of that. Then this Peter's going underneath me, or someone's doing it, going underneath into the corridor, I'm not sure where, but and then banging up to say, you're being injected with HIV, Justin, 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 you're being fucking smashed out, you're having your fucking life taken, you're having a fucking break-in, you're being shot dead. And like I said, there's gun sounds, and it's not just coming from that one specific neighbour, there's gun sounds from another neighbour as well. And also, when I'm passing a specific neighbour's flat for the last 6 weeks, it's been bad, because this other neighbour I passed in the corridor on a few times, every time I see him there's remarks to say dead, or I'll fucking smash you out, or whatever. And now we're getting threats here and there when I'm walking past that specific door. So I don't know what's got into all these fucking people at the moment, but it's definitely turning a fucking nightmare, and it's turning nasty. And obviously I said in the past, if I get a break-in, then obviously it would go into bomb Hinkley Point, power station graffiti, it would go into criminal damage, arson, you fucking name it, you name it. I would just never let it go. You've got to take into account I've already lost all my music, all my old school jungle music, and I can't get any of it back because the original DAT recordings are lost, or the DJs, when the record companies went under in the late 1990s because the government enforced music regulation stops, means that all my music is fucking gone. The only music I can re-get is the cryo chamber dark ambient stuff, but the problem is that's not very cheap to buy, and you're going to need to buy a couple of copies or 3 copies of each disc when I replace it, if they do get lost, to guarantee the quality sound, the sound quality, sorry, because not all CDs are great in sound quality with the distribution of that specific company or wherever they're getting it produced from. But anyway, like I said, with the burglaries in the past and all the stuff going missing in the past, you've got to take into account when these things happen, or when I've been to Bridgewater magistrates court or in the police station, they step up all this action and all these threats increase and all this violence increases straight after I leave those places or on the build-up of going to these sorts of places. And it happened when I had that burglary where my stuff was stored. All the trouble kicked off, and even being fucking threatened to be smashed in violently on sexual grounds. But the problem is, on sexuality, the only sex I've had in my whole life is basically being sexually abused as a child. I've had nothing else, yet 99.9% of all these fucking problems right through my whole life is on sexuality. And the problems are going on now, and it's going to get worse and fucking worse and getting nastier and fucking nastier, especially in Thorn House where I live at the moment. That's another thing I want to mention, is these fucking animal voice sounds today have been bad. Anything from telling me to fuck people that raped me as a child, to telling me I'm being knife dead, to all the threats that I mentioned like just now in fact. So, God's just fucking corrupt. A crotty fucking tearaway. The creator God is a slam nasty bastard. An evil fucking tearaway. A sexual slaughter cunt. An ice axing bastard. A fire staking flaring fucking tearaway. Also, you've got the fucking setups like black and fucking blue car. Timing drain covers to be hit over to tell me my fucking life's down the drain. Setups to occur where there's wording on vehicles to send out a message to nail me as a sick bastard, or to tell me I'm being ripped to fucking pieces, or to tell me that I'm going to be ripped to fucking pieces in my next life or next load of following lives. To threats that I've had as well, and overhanging trailers to rip my legs off from behind. And we've had a whole load of catalytic converter exhaust setups where they're reversing cars at me to choke me out with a catalytic converter. And obviously I've got the cell cores in my direction. You've got the timing of fucking people who are fucking sneezing in my fucking face and packing as much fucking traffic and causing as much fucking mayhem as they can fucking possibly stack in my direction, or to cause as much mess or as much misery as they can fucking stir in my direction. Just to confirm the issue of this road being fucking busy, I've just found out by a couple of people that are walking past saying that this road's very busy this morning. This happens all the time now. We've hit about 45 days near enough, not quite, where they've caused as much havoc and caused it to be as busy as they can fucking possibly stack it in my direction. For busiest fucking times on record. This is only a country lane. There's only enough room for one car to go past. So if another car comes the other way, then obviously that car's got to reverse back or find an area where they can let the other car pass. But obviously, they must be right. There's two old people, because you know, if they're saying the traffic's heavy, then it fucking is. I haven't been on this road before. Not walking it anyway, so I can't tell you what the traffic's like. I'm just going out today and I've forgotten my camera as well. I'm using my other camera, so I can't get the pictures I want either, and it's cloudy as well. So I'm being fucking cursed, I tell you. I'm not in a fucking happy mood, and I'm going to be having a row with the fucking neighbour that made a noise last night, because I'm not very fucking happy about it. And also we've got other problems as well. So we've got the smell of shit where they're not flushing the fucking toilet. And also, we've got this burning problem, which I'm speculating is being caused by some form of an energy weapon, which is causing intense burning, crushing and burning in the chest, cat claw scratch burning all over the body. Your feet feel like they're on fire, but it's like an unusual type of burning, but it's not burning as such, but it's like a burning sensation. And if you feel like jelly, like you're going to collapse on the floor where you can't stand up. We're going to have to stop because I'm going to have to let these fucking cars pass. Also, you've got a sore throat because of it, you're getting sensitive teeth because of it, you're getting head crushing pain because of it, and it's affecting my sleep as well. So, I don't know how busy this road gets, but if the two people that walk past me are saying it's busy, then it's fucking busy down in Street, or the creator God, one of the two that's being a nasty, violent bastard. I can't quite make out what's being said. Sounded like a stupid cunt, smashing him out, and that last bit I got audio recorded. I've missed the bus, so there's 4 hours to wait until the next bus, because it's not very often I come down this way. The reason I'm coming down this way is because I've been kept up all night and I can't sleep, so I decided to go into plan B. But unfortunately I forgot my camera, so there's a bit of a fuck up basically. I'm not very happy, and there will be trouble for this. I don't want to have to say this, but we've reached about 300 voice sounds coming from animals. Anything from telling me to fuck people that raped me as a child, to telling me I'm being knifed dead, to tell me I'm being fucking beaten to death, to be burgled, to tell me that I'm being sexually abused as a newborn child when I'm reborn into a new life after I die or get murdered in this life. And I'm being told that Jesus Christ has turned, that I'm going to be fucking suffering in pain, and that I'm going to be killed or injured by animals before I'm old enough to have sex in my next life. So basically God's telling me he's going to fucking rip me to pieces and causing his animals to take the piss out of me. And also, as the loud bikes occur tying to an erection, crows are telling me to, well, I won't say what they're saying. And then obviously you've got a couple of bow whistles that's occurring. Take into account I've never been on this road before. The road I'm actually walking now, the bus hasn't been on. This is a new road altogether. So, yeah, not happy, Christ, you little bastard. Animals are also telling me that there's no one left. They're also telling me that I've raped girls that I've never had sex with, and telling me that I've been with Amy Weston and had sex with Amy Weston when I haven't, which is not possible to replace, especially at my age, even at the age of 30, because she's one of those model type people with smooth skin that's basically had a lot of people in the past. But unfortunately, I'm unlucky. I don't get nothing in my whole life, and it's not replaceable. You quite literally, to replace that, it'll have to be like an 18-year-old woman, and that's not possible because I'm 40 fucking 3. So God slaughtered me. The bastard fucking hanged me. It's too late. As you can possibly hear, it's going to come to a stop. God wants to disguise the evidence, you see. So as soon as I push record, the sneaky bastard wants to disguise it. He wants to disguise ripping me to pieces or causing voice sounds. As all the time I hardly ever get any voice sounds because God's disguising it. I haven't pushed stop. Let's see what happens. Can't keep it rolling too long because obviously... Right, as soon as I push stop it starts again. Saying, fuck, dark. As soon as I push stop it'll happen again, nothing you can do about it. The creator's cursing me, the bastard's tearing me to fucking pieces. But the cunt doesn't realise I don't come to pieces. But obviously if you can smash me up and put me in a hospital bed or shoot me dead, then you won, Christ. You're absolutely fucking screwed up, Christ. Jesus only needs to turn against one fucking person to fall. And with the evidence I got against me, the evidence I got that I can use against God is beyond fucking belief. I mean, this is nasty evidence that I got. So if the creator God wants to rip me to fucking pieces, with my evidence left behind, assuming it's not destroyed, and the fact that I've posted it to governments in foreign countries in recent years, then God's going to have to explain why I'm not here anymore to these people that I got the evidence out to. When the bastard rips me to pieces and hasn't sexually compensated me for the things that happened to me as a child and just nailed me as a sick bastard all my life. Right, so Pina shoots up to loud bike, and I've just realised that you can't even take a picture of a signpost with this camera. So I've wasted my fucking time coming here. I can tell you what, I could rip the fucking creator's fucking son's fucking head off, I could fucking tear him to pieces, I could smash him up, and I could fucking set the bastard alight. I could tell you. I tell you what, this bastard, the amount of curses he's put on me, I tell you, I'm going to get fucking nasty with a bastard, I tell you. There's no way in living hell will I ever forgive. I was going to stop. Crow's saying that you've had plenty of women shag bar repeatedly and saying that you're being knife dead. You're looking at about probably another 100 voice sounds since I last done this. When we come to the Christmas period, the Valentine's period, the Father's Day period, the World Sex Day period, or Easter, these fucking voice sounds go off the fucking scale. But the problem is, these voice sounds went down between the years of 2012-ish, about 2011, 2012-ish, more towards 2012, right up until basically 2022. That seems to be a very bad fucking starting point for everything. Like the molested Sadie threat, the Stephanie threat, the Amy threat, and we're even going back to the fucking Wayne threat, which was between 2005 to 2007 at a push. I can't remember the exact time period, and that just suddenly died out. But yeah, these voice sounds, obviously it's been bad, especially 2015 and 2016. There were a few times, but it's mostly at certain times of the year, and I think it's around about Christmas where it's saying stuff like it's saying now. And now it's obviously, those sounds have gone to normal sounds, as you can hear, which happens all the time when I push record. You can kind of hear where it's trying to speak, where God's cutting it off to stop me getting the evidence, and it's trying to speak, and the sounds are collapsing into itself. Yet the bastard doesn't want me to get the evidence, you see. As soon as I turn this off, it's just going to fucking voice sounds again. Clear voice sounds, not just fucking chattery sort of tweets. It was just going to fucking proper voice sounds, like fucking people talking. Right, allow bikes time to erection, so they nearly hit out 100 for today so far. They keep collapsing the sounds. Every time I try to get the evidence of animal voice sounds, they just collapse as soon as I push record. Hang on. Now and again the creator messes up and I get the evidence where he's trying to stop me getting it. He fucks up thinking I'm not recording it. Very rare. But then again, it's not great. It's just tweets as rather than... It usually comes out a bit more sort of in a worded pattern. I can tell you now, God's fallen. It's simple, and you don't need to say anything else more than that. Don't have to make the road busy, because this is the road where they were saying it's busy earlier. There's a couple of people are walking past. No, I think they're doing this on purpose. They're doing it because it's only a one area, one road. There we are, there's the evidence, I've just got it. There's this person. Well, that car's got on reverse back, will stay there. But, as you can hear, we've got to go into that gap to let that car pass. The people that I saw earlier are dead right. It's busier than what it usually is, but that's what they do. They want to try and cause as much havoc, as trouble and shit stirring as they can cause. Right, obviously I can't go in the direction I initially I wanted to go into, because the picture I want to take, I'm not going to get it with this camera, so I'm going to have to do it another time. So I'm going back in the other direction, which is the direction I got off the bus earlier, because obviously I've been cursed. Right, next car. I just want to mention that this road is near enough a track, just a little bit wider than a track, enough to fit a car past with about another foot and a bit overlay on top of that. But I think the reason they're setting it up is because they want to chuck me out with a catalytic converter. I just want to mention that a clairvoyant recently told me about a month ago that this trouble was going to get nastier and nastier. This is the clairvoyant that predicted the possible person named Julia to be my girlfriend. I don't believe in any of that because nothing ever comes true, but she's right. You know, she's right about all the fucking trouble, and she just says it's going to get worse and worse over Christmas. And she didn't have no good news for the New Year, because she said there's going to be like a quiet stage, but it's not going to really be that quiet. And she says as soon as it comes into the New Year, it's just going to get worse and worse. But her prediction is that this Julia is going to be like a setup more than anything. So it's like going to be a girlfriend that's going to help you basically But the thing is, I've had predictions like this before and it's not come true. The battery went flattening on the camera. So, yeah, she thinks that this Julia is going to be the process of a move. And she did actually say that the move's going to be quite a way away. She said it's not just going to be at the road because there's going to be too many people that are going to give you trouble. She's not actually sure who this is. She just says that this young lady is going to help you out. She said it's going to be someone like a fancy, you know, all the rest of it, but she's also the only second clairvoyant that's ever picked up on this setup, organised force that's being caused around me. Out of all the clairvoyants I've had, readings, only one, apart from this one I'm mentioning now, has picked up on the setups as being organised against me. And they think there's, to break the circuit of this malicious setup and control force around me, is going to happen when that girlfriend comes into my life. That's what the one said the first time round. The one that's predicted Julia, she's basically saying the same. I can't remember the wording she said, but I think she said something like, it'll break the federal circuit of criminal forces being organised around you. Whether she used the word organised, I'm not sure. But she did, it meant exactly the same, but a lot less suggested meaning to it. So more like this force that's around you, the construction's going to collapse and it's going to fall apart when this lady comes into my life. I mean, this might not be true, and I don't believe it will be. But, you know, it's the reading I had, so I'm not going to make it up. You just have to wait and see what happens. But she did say that going into next year is going to be bad. But she did say there's going to be a move. She didn't actually give a date either for the move, but she made it sound like it's going to be before the month of February, which is good news if that does turn true. But, you know, but the problem is, this movement control that she's predicted, this clairvoyant, is saying it's going to be caused by this Julia, and making it sound like this Julia is a partner. But the problem is, I don't actually know anyone. And she said it's going to be before Christmas that I get to know this Julia, if I remember. And the problem we got is we're already on the 12th of December and there's still no sign or no signs or anything at all regarding this name Julia. DHL van, plural to jail. Shit, I got gone. Fucking hell. It has calmed down up until I stopped the recording. The traffic flow. But you know the country road I'm on? They've stepped up about 50 fucking cars while trying to take a picture of a signpost. They've just done that deliberately. Fucking deliberately. Considering this road's already busy when there's only a car here and there when those people walked past earlier, that's just told me that they're doing it deliberately. Right, so I can't take a picture, they need to time a Crook and Sons vehicle. Right, they're making it fucking impossible just to take a picture of a signpost. You've got to take it, there we are. Yeah, there's the passing, as you can hear the passing. The road's not supposed to be this busy, I know it's not. Well, I can't do it, the government are stopping me. You just cannot do it with the traffic flow, especially with this camera. It's very difficult because the camera's broken already. So trying to take a picture of just a fucking signpost. This road's not supposed to be this busy. Although I've not been on it before, you know it's not supposed to be this busy. Yes, Downing Street. There we are, we need to stop the vehicles. There we are, stuck in the fucking water now because of this. The government don't want it, you see. Even on a camera. I've forgotten my camera. They won't even let me do it on a fucking crappy fucking camera. There we are. I'm fucking getting fucking annoyed now, Downing Street. It's got to stop this stupid fucking action. You fucking brainless fucking twats. I can't fucking photograph it. I just can't do it. The government is stopping me, or the creator God is. One or two. The flow of fucking traffic. You're looking at about 70 fucking vehicles just trying to take a picture of that one signpost. They just don't want it. The government don't want it. The creator doesn't want it. I'll tell you what, I could rip his fucking head off, the creator God. Fucking his son is fucking paying for it, and I'm not letting this go. It's too late. The wrists and the fucking throat, especially on sexuality, are fucking cut. And it's sexuality in 2002 when I started this war with God. But then I decided to give it some thought and to make up with God, and I thought I'd throw away something like 150, 200, possibly 300 sheets of my life story packs. And I tell you, it's very negative stuff that was on there, especially when I was getting a lot of threats from enemies in that time period. And there's problems in town and the near misses attacks and walking into my ex-mugger who meant to nearly attack me again. You know, going back, it had lots of stuff in it. I decided to pray to God, chuck all that away, and within 2 weeks my life just got nastier and nastier and nastier, and it's been like that ever since. And it was the starting stages of where it got really nasty from, you know, 2005 onwards basically, because that is when I ripped the pieces of paper up and gave it some thought. So you can just tell I can't forgive God now, no way. I mean, I've gone to church for 3 years to pray seriously, and my life's just got worse and worse. And even in church, loud bikes to erections, seagulls going ha ha ha. And when negative occurrences occur, and when I nearly get attacked coming out of the church, going in, or in the prayer or whatever, a seagull go ha ha ha, or fret outside, or a seagull go ha ha, and making voice sounds nastily while in the church, praying or singing or whatever. So I've come away from it. Now we've got a factor reversing with a spike on it, and now we've got vehicles. This is the same road, it's widened up a bit because obviously coming into a village. And you know what happens? Every time I push a button, God's making damn well sure I don't get the evidence, you nasty bastard. Right, this is fucking questionable. How fucking nasty can God fucking get? So there we are, the Daisy's car to apply Sadie Dando. Then a crow says fucked up, but before that a crow says something I can't say. And I'm getting fucked off with it, and then I drop all my stuff while the crow's fucking nattering on with a load of bullshit, slam down my fucking throat, because God's fucking crest. The cunt is fucking cruel. Right, so a crow is repeatedly saying there's no one left, you're having a break-in, and being sexually abused in your next life. Just repeating that, repeatedly. Now the warp sound's gone into normal sounds again. I'm even in a church. No one left. It's much clearer than that, but you can hear it. It's come to a stop. Right, I'm in the church. I went outside because I wanted to smoke a fag. I thought I'd have some consideration, even though I'm in a really bad mood because of all the problems at the moment. However, the place I'm at, I haven't had a single threat, and I've walked past quite a few people. People treating me with respect, and it all seems okay. But I have come across something that's very interesting. My double. Someone who looks almost identical to me, who's roughly about my age, maybe a bit older, has passed me, and he's with a girlfriend. So it looks like I'm going to give the description of the type of girlfriend that people who look like me are actually with. Right, so I just went outside the church because I wanted to smoke a fag. I bought some fags. I got some fags, but I bought some because I didn't take them with me, because obviously I'm not in the bestest of moods because it's been a very, very bad day. I will, however, credit this place because I haven't had any problems at all. The people seem friendly, the people seem nice, and even the young people I'm passing just seem to be just seem like they're normal to me. It's not like they're mistaking me as Sven either. And even a couple of bearded people, believe it or not, that look like the rough type. Not quite as rough as the oval looking, but even they have walked past as if they have no problems with me. So I don't know how far where these threats are coming from the Sven issue where I'm being mistaken as that person, but where I've been is a different atmosphere altogether. I mean, there probably is nasty people here and there, but it's certainly a place I'd live if I wanted to get away from all the trouble. But it is very awkward to get to places, and it's not an easy bus route either, because they're like every 4 hours. but that's not what I wanted to mention as such. Right, so I decided to go out and have a fag in the end instead of doing it in church, mostly because people have respected me here. I haven't had any threats in this village, and people seem to walk past me fine. And obviously I've had to buy some garlic, so I've eaten some garlic because I've got a bit of a headache because I've been kept up all night by banging. Obviously I had a steak, and obviously I had some cheese, a block of cheese, and now I'm about to have a drink, but I'm going to have that after I've done this recording because I went out for a fag. I was going to smoke it in here, but like I said, I'm not going to cause trouble or be disrespectful. If people treat me with respect, I'll respect people. But if they treat me like a piece of dirt, then I'll treat them like a piece of dirt. It's as simple as that. While going outside to have a cigarette, because initially I was going to smoke it in here, but I thought I have a bit of respect because people have been respecting me. People have been polite, they've been friendly and whatever. So if people are going to be polite and friendly, I'm going to respect them as well. But if they don't, then I'll have to reverse, and I will work nasty, just like other people work nasty. So obviously I went out for a fag. I had something to eat, so I had a Ginster's steak, I had a block of cheese, and obviously I've had 4 garlic cloves, because obviously I bought some garlic because I want to get rid of a headache because I was kept up all night by fucking banging by the neighbours. There was a specific couple that walked past that I want to mention. But before I mention that, when that couple walked past, the animal voice sounds come to a sudden stop. When I came back into church, they reoccurred. So it was about 30 more sounds, and then there was a 20-minute time gap where it just went silent completely with no sounds at all, maybe a couple of crow ha-ha-has, and that is it. Obviously it's picking up a bit now, but I've been trying to do this recording several times to get it right, to mention the story that I'm about to mention. So what happened is I was outside and I saw my double. Yes, I saw a person that looks identical to myself. So I wasn't smiling as such, but I just was amused, you know. I thought to myself, I'm not going to say something, and I thought, I wonder if he would recognise it, you know. But he didn't appear to. However, when he did pass me, he gave the look as if to say, "You all right?" or whatever, you know, "You all right?" as a polite gesture, but he didn't actually say so. It was more of a look of his eyes as saying all right as he passed. Obviously he was with a girlfriend. I'll come to that as well in a minute. But going back to this person that looks like myself, he's just a little bit older than me. So he's about 45, 46, maybe 47, where I'm 43. So he had a bit more grey hair than me, but that's about it. He had that slight older look than me, but obviously, like I said, he's a little bit older than me, but not by much. But the girlfriend he's with is actually very sexy, which is not a good sign, because obviously I've never had anyone in my whole life, and when you think that my type go with that sort, then it's not good news for me. Right, so his girlfriend, the person that looks like me, his girlfriend, is about the age, somewhere between the age of about 40 to about 50, somewhere in that gap. I'm not sure the exact age. She's got quite a bit of grey hair, but it's not fully grey. It's just sort of half grey or just under half grey. She's a bit taller than me, so she's about a foot taller than me. However, that person that looks like me is roughly about the same height as me as well, by the way. Anyway, his girlfriend had black, dark hair, roughly down to her shoulders or that sort of area. I didn't really take much notice of that. So it's not the blonde type. So my type don't seem to be going with these really sexy blondes. However, for her age, it's very, very rare that you come across a person like that with extremely soft skin. It's extremely rare, but she did actually have soft skin. So that did surprise me a little bit. It's slightly puffy on the hands, but it's not. She wasn't like fat build as such, but she had sort of a sexy body, basically, bit of medium build, maybe medium build. She was wearing a purple coat, and she had a longish face which was very smooth, but she was very sexy. When she sort of looked at me, she had that sort of eye where she sort of, you're gorgeous. It was sort of give that like that, and smiled. But she didn't actually smile as such. She just sort of give a look. But if you can tell, but the glimpse that she gave was like a sort of like, if you were to look at Kylie Minogue when she does that really sexy smile when she was in her 30s, sort of that facial appearance. But she actually looked slightly more sexy than Kylie Minogue, believe it or not. But it's a different type of sexy. It's she's got an older appearance in the face, but it's hard to describe. She's got that. She looks her age. It's very rare. It's like how do I word it? She's got that. If you were to look at like a person in their early 20s and you think, oh, that's sexy or whatever, you know, like most people do out there, then obviously she's actually sexier looking than that. But it could be due to the smoothness maybe of the skin. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's a facial look. It's like an intelligent sort of looking, but at the same time it's not intelligent. It's sort of it's hard to describe. To be fair, but she's got. You can see she's got that age in her face, but the age seems to be lowered by the facial appearance she has. So it's like a really sexy face, basically. I mean, you can get people and they're just in their late teens or early 20s, and they actually got a more grubby looking face or a more ugly looking face, even on the ones that are known as the sexy type. So, but obviously it could be the area, it could be the way this person's brought up, it could just generally be the way she was born. She was just born to look really, really sexy. And that's the description of the lady that this bloke is with, who looks like me. So when people say you're supposed to fancy Lisa Pike, negative attraction, or ugly pizza faces, then obviously that's a load of nonsense. So I don't know why people need to tell me that. Because if someone that looks like myself, who's a little bit older than me, is with a woman that's got soft skin in her 40s, then, you know, there's one downfall with this. The problem is that lady's definitely going to be a single mother, no doubt about it, because people that look like that, they're going to be single mothers since they're about 15, 16. So that it'd definitely be too late for me to go with that person. Obviously that person's taken, so I couldn't go with that person because that person's with someone that looks like me. But, you know, this is the problem. It's more of a case of people being single mothers and very used and had sex with lots of people. In actual fact, I've not seen a person that's got this resemblance for over 20 years. It's very rare that you see this type, especially today, because people have got more sour and dry and sarcastic looks in their face, or they have that more serious sort of suggestion. But obviously this is a calm village, so even the old grannies, you'll find a lot of the grannies I passed today, I wouldn't say I fancy them as such, but they do have like that some form of, right, the battery went flat, so I've got to re-mention that part, which is the old grannies. In general, when I was walking past the grannies in this place, I have noticed, I wouldn't say smooth skin as such that they have, but certainly a type of sexual skin that even I can nearly fancy. Not quite, but nearly fancy in ladies aged 65-ish, even 70. But it must be because they keep themselves clean, have clean foods, healthy diet. I'm not sure what's caused it, but I mean, most people you see on a bus, or most people I see walking around Yeovil or going to these towns or whatever, or Somerset or whatever, because I'm not actually in Somerset, I'm in Dorset. But you go to places in my area, seeing a lady that's got sexy skin or a sexy face at 65 or 70, it's literally 1 in 1 million, you know, something like that. There is one person, and lives at Wellington. She did go to Burnham Library when I was living at Burnham. They call her Funny Eyes, and I'd say she's around the age of about 60, maybe a little bit older now, so she might be about 70 now, or just a bit under 70, maybe 65, it's hard to say. But she held her looks and I thought, oh, she's sexy, you know. She did actually blow my hair when I was in Morrison's, going back about 12 years ago, when I was at Burnham-on-Sea, or B&M store, I can't remember, it was B&M, and I didn't know why she was doing that, but I thought, you know, I was looking at her, I thought, I wouldn't mind getting in her, you know, getting on with her, because even though she was old, I had to stop the recording because someone came into the church. She still had that soft body. She came into the library once with only just very slim amount of clothing, and I sort of looked up and thought, whoa, fucking hell, that's fucking fit as fuck, you know. And she was 60 at that time, you know, around about that age, maybe a touch younger, I'm not sure, but if she was, then it's not by much. And obviously I would have been high 30s, just maybe a bit under high 30s, just past mid 30s. Can't remember the exact age I was. So I tried speaking to her, but when she was in Morrison's, but she didn't really sort of speak as such. She just ignored me. But she sort of clinged on to who I was, and I sort of here and there. But then we come into the sort of circumference, and you know, with that escalating, me mistaken as that person and whatever else. I saw her again in Wellington, and when I spoke to her the second time to say all right, you know, just to say all right, because I'd seen her in the shop and in the library, whatever, she just said something rather nasty, and I can't remember what it was, and it was because of this Savenne business. I know that was the reason. I think Savenne was mentioned in the threat. I can't remember the exact thing that was mentioned now. So obviously it's too late to go with that person. But that is, by the way, she's foreign. But she looks British. She's got the white British look, but she's actually a foreign lady. This is another thing. When it comes to the foreign ladies, they seem to hold their looks out a lot longer than they do in the UK. So in other countries, even in their 50s, possibly even their 60s, they still got that like sexual looking skin, or smooth skin, or soft skin, or whatever you want to call it. In this country, it just appears that everyone, as soon as they hit the age of 25, their skin type starts to go rough, or it starts to look negative, and then they go obese. And then by the age of 30, they're obese and look negative. But quite literally everybody. So I don't know why that is or what causes it, but you know, that's that. So there are people out there, but the problem is most of these people that are sexual looking, like I said, are taken or single mothers. And this is why I'm being told I'm a sick cunt, because I won't go with the negative type, because everyone want me with a negative type because they don't like me. They see me as a piece of shit, and they throw up the piece of shit at you, and they give you what they want to fucking see you with. They just want to see, they just put you down as a paedophile, rapist. And I've not managed to get anyone in the past because enemies were claiming I had HIV, or being stabbed with a HIV needle, even in the days of when I was in my early 20s. They turned all my kind of friends, I didn't really have many friends or many females that I knew, but anyone I knew, even just bygones, they turned everybody against me at the Palace nightclub. And there's even discussions, they've even paid people to turn against me. Now I don't know why that's occurred, but it's been mentioned in threats. But that threat died out when they were mentioning that people have been paid to turn against me, saying that you've been paid, just turn against me, not speak to them, never, you've been paid a lot of money, you know. It was mentioned, but that was mostly in the sort of early, sort of 2007 and 8 area. After 2008, unheard of. That just died out completely. But, you know, they have paid people off to turn against me. I don't know who's paying them, but someone has. And obviously, as the years go on, my life gets worse and worse. So like I said, and obviously I'm still got no one. So it's not too late, but it is too late at the same time, because you're looking at 1 in a million people that are very old, that still have that smooth, sexy body and smooth appearance. Because most people get wrinkles as soon as they hit their 50s, or sometimes in their mid-40s. And I don't take to the wrinkly type or the old granny type. And I shouldn't have to either, because if you haven't had anyone in your whole life, you shouldn't be told to go with a granny. And there is a music track I heard when I went to Wincanton, going back about probably about a month ago now. And this sounded like it came out in the early 2000s. It could have been in the 90s, but it sounds like it's around about 2010 that it came out. And it basically says, I can't remember the actual lyrics, but it says if anyone's been sexually abused as a child and not had sex in their whole life, then they're entitled to go with someone aged 30 or under the age of 30 for first sexual ever relationship. But when they made that track, this was before people were moaning about age gaps and stuff like that. Also, you've got to take into account that the track, when it was mentioned in that, was much more politer in the way it was described than how I'm mentioning it now, but it meant exactly the same thing. I did try and audio record it, but unfortunately, by the time I got the audio recorder out of my pocket, that car that was playing that track just went up the road, and it was too late to get the evidence, because I wanted to try and get the evidence of the name of the track so that I could locate it on YouTube, because they sometimes give you the details of the track, and then I could have exposed the track and put the track on the internet and explain the issue a bit more better regarding that issue on that day. But regardless of that, I can't remember what the setups were, but I do remember there being a couple of wordy vehicles, a car on the corner trying to smash me up, and a dumper truck my way as well with a bucket head. So yeah, not good. But as far as sexuality goes, but I don't know who this Julia is, but that's who has been predicted for a girlfriend by a clairvoyant. But the problem is, I'm supposed to know this person before Christmas. It's already the 12th of December. And with my life worsening, and it's coming true because the neighbours are kicking off at the moment, she said there's going to be a bit of a calm stage just after Christmas, and then it's going to get really, really nasty. But in that time it gets really, really nasty, it's going to be when this Julia comes into my life, and she's making it sound like I'm going to be moving quite away, like 100 miles away or so. So whether that's true, I do not know. But she thinks that I'm going to go with this Julia, and she says it's going to be someone you fancy, someone you love, someone you're going to adore, and all that sort of stuff. But the thing is, there's nothing that's coming true at the moment. And obviously she said by the month of February, you're going to be relocated from where I'm living at the moment. So how true that is, I do not know, but she was pretty much spot on with quite a lot of what she was saying. I did do a documentary. I can't remember if it went on YouTube or not, or where I didn't bother, because I don't seem to bother much on the readings, because I'm getting there's so many sort of, when it comes nearer the time or things start to come true, then I do it. I think that's what I did. I remember now. I did do this one, but I did it a couple of weeks after I did after I had the reading, because there was quite a few things that were coming true on the reading that she mentioned. On top of that, there was at least 10 things that came true already that she mentioned. But the problem is, does it hold out to be true, further on in the reading, or does it collapse? Because most of the readings keep collapsing on the girlfriend part, and rather than life getting better, life's getting worse all the time. So it keeps on dropping every time. We had this on many girlfriend predictions. I can't remember all the names of the ladies that I've had predicted, but a lot of them have not been set in stone, that's the thing. And there's been ones where the government have made setups, or control force around me has told me that they're going to mess it up or stop me getting anyone. And they have messed it up, or controlled my route, or stopped me going out on specific days after that reading has been taken, or fucked up my plans, or defeated me, or closed a road, or caused me to have to go back home after being sneezed in the face or whatever. All that has occurred. So there's a possibility that they're responsible as well for why I've not got no one yet. And being 43, can't mess about. Actually, in the corridor of my old place, they were concerned about my age when they were talking about this issue. This is when they were going on about this prostitute that tried scamming me, the Jeanette prostitute, who they're saying is called Catalin. And basically they were saying that they know that she's negative attraction, and there's a setup by Dan to get money so that they can move one out for one other to move in, because they didn't have the money. and they said they're using him on purpose, and they said they know this lady, this younger lady or whatever, is negative attraction, and saying that they're doing it just to be spiteful, and saying there's no need for that. They said, and even these are neighbours that didn't really like me, really, to be honest. They were making gunshots and whatever now and again, but literally after that time, or when that specific lady scammed me, there was literally 6 months with no problems at all, and all the neighbours were okay with me. In actual fact, right up until I moved, the specific neighbour that was talking in the corridor of my place in Burnham before I moved, there was not a single problem from that specific neighbour right from that time onwards. However, when you had 2 new neighbours move in, that's when the eye problem started. And then obviously I moved on from there. But in the last days of when I moved, every neighbour in that place was okay with me. The only one I didn't speak to was Gary, but it wasn't bad. I mean, I would have preferred not to move, but I wanted a change. I wanted the yoga. They wanted to see my life get better, and too many people were mistaking me as Sylvain. They were concerned about my safety. The police were concerned about my safety. Obviously, when I first moved to Thorn House, I didn't mention this straight away, but it just kicked off straight away when I moved there. Then there was a cut pineapple piece off, and then there was a gas canister in the shed and all the rest of it, which is where the rubbish is kept. And then obviously I knew that things were starting off, and I was actually accused for doing that, even though I wasn't the one that did it. And it just got nastier and nastier and nastier. And then it started to calm down a little bit. But no, it was very rough. It was shouting and aggressive behaviour. And the time it started to calm down was when the neighbour Peter moved in. As soon as Peter moved in, the trouble was half as bad. But then you did have quite a lot of banging from the foot that occurred from, I think it's January 2023. And then obviously you had times where it was bad, but never as bad as what it was from when I first moved there until Peter moved in. There was also another stage because Sam was there a little bit longer. So he was quite a new person that moved in. But there was a time that goes back just before he moved in where it was even rougher than before Peter moved in. But it was still rough, but it was starting to calm down in the time period around when Peter moved in, about that time. Maybe a bit before, but if it was before, it wouldn't have been much. It was like about a week, maybe a week or 10 days. But it's definitely in that time period when it calmed down. It was half of what it was in that time. And obviously I did actually see one of my neighbours visit Yeovil back in 2022, and I think it was, and he looked like he was sort of upset or crying a little bit, but I can't guarantee it was. But anyway, as far as partnerships or anything like that goes, I can't. My life's unpredictable. I think it's pretty much too late. I think I'm just going to have to be sexually slaughtered, because obviously I've been stopped from getting anyone all my life. People have said, why haven't you tried? And the problem is, if you go back before 2014, it's too rough, because quite literally you go into a cafe, most cafes on most days, there'll be smashed windows, chairs flying around everywhere, glasses thrown at people hitting the roof. It was bad. And when we reached 2014, in that short time I went into these places, people were looking at me saying, oh, you're sick, or because of the age gap or whatever. And then obviously when we came into the year 2016, 2017 onwards, the Sylvain threat came in, and it was too dangerous to socialise anyway, so I went coffee mornings, and even that's a problem, and they escalated and escalated and escalated. Now we got to the problem we have today. I just want to mention that in the time period where Reese moved out, or was it? No, I'm trying to think when it was. It was, no, I don't remember now. It's just before Shannon moved in. There was another rough stage, because it was gone in stages, you see. The first 3 months I moved there, was rough, but it wasn't until 2022 where it got really, really nasty. And then obviously it went in stages, so it was really, really rough, but the roughness sort of went in stages. So I can't remember the order now, but as soon as Shannon moved in, it calmed down slightly, but not much. Then when Sam moved in, it calmed down a little bit more, but not much. But the main drop, or when things just suddenly went half of what it was before, was in the time Peter moved in. But there were still problems even when I was walking up and down the corridor where shouting would occur. But anyway, I'm going to leave it there on that subject. And just went outside the church. It's just reminded me of a person that I tried communicating as one of the earliest people that I was speaking to on a dating site in 2005 at Bridgewater Library, who was saying, wasn't moaning about my age, it was just saying that I'm too hot and too sexy, and saying that I need to go with someone that's worth more. Then obviously, as time went on, then they started moaning about the age and started saying you're sick or supposed to be in a negative type and so on and so on. So a lot of the stuff that was mentioned in 2005, 6, 7, 8 and 2009 was mostly saying, oh, I'm too hot, I'm so hot. I don't go with your type, I go with the rough type, basically, is what they're saying. And then obviously they started to moan about the age gaps, or saying, oh, you're fucking sick as fuck. However, when I reached the age of 26, there was actually a person that said, oh, you're fucking sick as fuck. Get them the fuck off my fucking page, you weirdo. And she was 18 at the time. But I didn't realise that the age problem was such a problem even back in that time. But that was when it started to go to increase. And then what happens? Just 1 year later, I find that someone who's 18 is with someone aged 32. And that's seen as normal. So it depends on the person. But then again, just before we went into lockdowns, I was at Kingscliff Woodland and filming lanterns, did one camping night. This is sort of just before we went into lockdowns, before the sort of really when the sort of eye problems started, you know, from the energy weapons at my old place. I was walking into these foreign people, sort of Asian, I think. They weren't British, but you had this Asian lady who's like in her early 20s, smooth skin or whatever, soft skin, and then obviously this bloke's in his 40s, and they were just kissing and cuddling as if it was normal, and this was an Indian bloke, if I remember. And, you know, I thought, is that a problem? Because obviously on dating sites people seem to think so, and then obviously, you know, but obviously it's not a problem. It depends who it is. That's the thing. Some people take it nastily, some people allow the age gap. But it's getting more tighter, that's the problem. More and more people are doing it now, moaning about the age. So whether it's being caused by the media, I do not know. But if you look at what they're doing at the moment, they're releasing a t-shirt that says, make love, not war, age is just a number. And also another t-shirt saying, over 50 is too old, under 50 is fine. But they're releasing it at a sly time, so that in the next 5 years, when I reach 50, and everybody's wearing those t-shirts, people are going to say, oh, he's 50, he's over 50, he's sick, no, don't go with him, or whatever. They've been doing everything they can to stop me getting anyone in my whole life. My enemies have, the music industry has, the media has, and they've even put people that are child killers and murderers and rapists on telly that resemble my face. And if we go back to what these conspiracy theorists are saying on the Daily Mail, I don't recall there ever being a name and shame picture of myself, or lookalike to myself, should I say, on the Daily Mail or whatever. But conspiracy theorists were claiming or saying that the types of people they were choosing to go in front of the Daily Mail were resembling faces that the government are trying to hit off. So, you know, it's very interesting what they're doing. When I mention these setups or control force around me all the time, it feels like it's from a different type of organisation, or it's been reorganised by more modern people than the previous setup that occurred, which was dying out about a year before the lockdown, before it got 4 times heavier afterwards and much nastier. Just before we came into the end of the lockdown, you know, the start of the lockdowns, you know, 2019, before we went into 2020 lockdowns and whatever, they were actually making a suggestion. They were actually agreeing with me with things, and like the Sadie, one of them was Sadie. So they were supplying with the setups with the Ian and Sadie to apply that they know that I haven't done anything wrong to them, and that, you know, they sort of, there was some remorse with the setups. Things started to improve. They did make one mistake though. They thought I'd been with Stephanie when I haven't. But even that sort of died out. It was very, very rarely occurring. But and there is one thing I really did do, which they said that they punished me for, and they sort of said they'd let that go now, and that's the graffiti wear at Bomb Hinkley Point. After a lot of bad things happened in a specific year, 2006, in the Christmas time period, and I got in trouble with the police for it. They arrested me, and saying don't ever write that again. We said we're more concerned about your life being in danger, rather than saying out of all graffiti you can do, that's the worst thing you can do. Saying we're just saying this to help you, to keep you safe, so you don't end up hurt or anything like that. Whatever you write, don't write that. Obviously, if I had a break-in or anything like that nowadays, because my life's a fucking waste and fucking tearaway and left in pieces, I probably would write it again if anything nasty occurs on top. Because you've got to take into account I've had my life taken to pieces, and there's nothing you can do about it now. And the fact that it's sexuality as well, you know, and the fact that I'm too old to have anyone, and I still haven't had sex properly with anyone in my whole life, you know, not good. And then obviously when we went into the lockdown, it was interesting, I've not really mentioned this, but when I saw Gemma in the lockdown, she was at her friendliest actually in the first lockdown. So it came very close, you know, to sort of asking each other, sort of, you know, if she's single or whatever. But what happened is we came out of that lockdown, and things sort of changed. It's in that sort of time period where things started to go a bit crooked, and then we came back out of that lockdown when this is like the last lockdown before we went into reality. And that's where things started to fall apart, and where she got slightly nasty and things got changeable and whatever, and then I started to see this other lookalike that looks like Gemma. She was being more friendly than Gemma. She looks like Gemma, but she's slightly younger, but more negative looking, and not as long in the face. But the problem is she's a single mother of 3, and although she's politer, she was slightly rougher skin, but looked very similar to Gemma, if you get what I'm saying. And then sort of Gemma sort of faded out. I saw her, she's still walking, but I was more walking into this other person, and she was sort of saying more right than Gemma, and Gemma started to get more sort of low. And then obviously I left that piece of paper in the charity shop, where she phoned me up and said, "Who the fuck do you think you are? And you're fucking, I'm a 30-year-old woman. You've got the nerve to do this. How can you just put your life in? You're a sick bastard," and all the rest of it. So I mentioned that many times on videos, so that's what she said. Just to keep the story short, but and then obviously when we came out of the lockdowns into reality, all my life just got worse and worse. Starting up with the threats and the setups, it started off like 50 to 100 threats every day. Even when I was staying at Nan's, I walked to Tesco's, and it's just kicking off one after the other. And I was phoning up the home and treatment team in Minehead, who was the destination of who I called when I was living at my old place before they changed branches. But the problem is so much information's got lost, and so many things have changed, and because people don't know me, when I moved to Yeovil, it was a different scenario altogether. Yeah, so what Gemma actually said on the phone was, because she rang me up because I basically asked if she wanted to meet for a coffee. I did mention this on the previous video. She said, "Who the fuck do you think you are, coming into my fucking workplace, asking me if I want to fucking meet up with you, to have a fucking coffee, to see if I'm fucking single? You sick bastard. You're praying I'm a 30-year-old woman, and you're fucking 39 or 40, I can't remember what she said now, or 41. And I thought, you know, so she said, threatened me with the police, and then said, you know, you just landed your whole... She said, no, she said she's not going to get the police after she said she was. And she says, you've just landed your whole fucking life. You're fucking gone. The amount of people I have on my side, you've just landed yourself in your grave. And then said, bye, after that, and she put the phone down. So, I did actually show the letter to one of the supported staff workers at Supported Housing before I actually sent that letter. And the person, I won't get the person involved who I mentioned it to, because obviously it wouldn't be the right thing to do. I don't want to cause trouble. But he or she said that's perfectly fine, saying that as long as you can guarantee that you actually have spoken to her and it's the same person and you have spoken enough times to do that, and I said that shouldn't be a problem. So I see nothing offensive on that. Says I can't see that being should I give it a try, you never know, it might work out for you. But obviously the response was much more negative, so she must be very serious and trying sarcastic minded in the head maybe, or different way of thinking. Either way, that's finished, and that was finished back in 22. I mean, it could be partly to the setup of this person who wanted to smash me up on the railway track in Highbridge, with a knife, but met in Bridgewater and whatever. But it might not be, but that occurred 2 months after. Anyway, I'll leave it there on that, because I've mentioned this quite a few times. It's on many YouTube videos, so let's stick with the other stuff now. Yeah, I mentioned this, going back to the last bit of information that I was mentioning. It goes back to 2005 on the earliest dating sites. The earliest female that I can remember trying to chat to, who told me that she was too sexy to allow me to go with her, was something Penelope. Right, the traffic flow since I left the church has just suddenly gone very heavy again. Orange car time. I don't know why the time is orange to have the car at the moment. It's not the colour of the sun, unless they're trying to struggling with the yellow cars, I don't know. I mentioned those two people I saw earlier, with that person that looks like myself, with that sexy woman. They passed me again. This time they actually both said alright as they walked past. And so yeah, I said alright back. Yeah, I'd say their accent is not the dry and sarcastic sort of this or can give it some, nothing like that. It's just sort of a calm, calm accent basically, normal. I ended up back in church. Obviously I let those people in, but there's actually another 15 minutes to wait for the bus, so obviously I'll come back in there. Looking at what I could have photographed today, I'm not too bothered, to be fair, about the issue of not taking my camera, but there's one signpost I could have taken, but it's not essential. I've sort of given it some thought. It's not one of the better ones, so Right, I just want to mention something from yesterday. I was a little bit annoyed with these setups. I've forgotten what the setup construction force was, but basically I had a murder suggestion and this and that. I got off the bus extra early because it's cloudy and I thought I'd get some photos, but unfortunately none of the photos came out. There's 2 pieces of information in a church I want to reveal in a minute, but firstly let's go on to the setups. So there was time in robbery looking, and basically what they were doing is saying that regardless if you've got a robbery, we don't give a shit about you, and the trouble's going to keep on continuing, and the loud bike to erection. So they're making that suggestion, but I can't remember. There's quite some strength to it with the wording on the vehicles, but I just cannot remember what it was. It might have been Somerset Waste Partnership, and then the yes followed by the bike to erection. Anyway, in Charminster Church, because obviously I went in there yesterday, I did delete yesterday's recordings because obviously it wasn't too bad yesterday, so I thought I can't be bothered to do it. I was knackered and it was kicking off. It was not a very good evening, and overnight it got nasty from about 2 o'clock in the morning, just gone 20 past 2 or something like that. That was that. I've forgotten what I was going to say now. Anyway, my laptop broke yesterday. I do have a second one, so I didn't lose too much information, but there's a few things that I've lost, and there's a few important pieces of information I've lost, but there's nothing I can do about it because it won't reboot. So it says that you've got to take it to a PC administrator or whatever, and I thought, well, it's fucking had to stay anyway, so I just chucked it out and just put the other one on. Now, the piece of information at a church I want to mention now. There's a young couple that have got in a sexual relationship with the help of Jesus Christ. and that they've prayed to Jesus, or saying that the way how happy they are that Jesus has helped these two people get in a sexual relationship, and how their life's gone together, and how they're enjoying each other's, whatever you want to call it. I don't know if they said sex on there. I think they just sort of made this suggestion that they're really enjoying it together. Where, unfortunately, because my name's Justin, I have to bring this piece of information up, otherwise I would have just left it and not mentioned it. But this young man is called Justin and is in a sexual relationship with someone called Alice, who's a female. Obviously this is a young couple, so possibly in their teens. I'm not exactly sure. I just know that the piece of information on that paper is making the suggestion that these are a young couple. We're talking about how they got together, and how they're praising God and thanking Jesus, and how much they love Jesus because they're in a sexual relationship and getting married, and they want to expose their feelings through prayer with Jesus Christ in their lives, of how happy they are and how they're enjoying each other and enjoying life or whatever. So obviously it's not a good suggestion, because we've had this problem in the past. I've gone to churches, and a man with my name, usually a teenager, about 18, is getting in a sexual relationship with a woman. I can't remember the names of these women, but we had that, especially in the early part of this year, I think it was, and in 2022, where I went to churches and I couldn't sit in the church because of weddings or whatever, and I've actually been told to get out, or in some ways, in the past, but going back before that time, it wasn't someone's a pedo or weirdo or something outside. I hate to say this, you look like a child rapist, mate, said. Right, so black sexual car timed, red sexual. Bird tweets no one left, just, and says Olivia. It sounded like it said, making it, so I can't remember the exact, I didn't write it down. Basically, to apply that you're in a relationship with Olivia when you're not, and saying that there's no one left. And catalytic converter stems drains it over. 14 wet, hard, sloppy coughs, sends them some text. Before I got on the bus, I was trying to come sit over and choke my catalyst. In total, about 20 texts. I have to get my face full of wet cough, I mean. It's not facing me, but someone now it's coughs. Seems to be wet from the cough, seems to be reversing for some reason. Right, so there's Turner build in the van that was in the front part, and a smashed glass eye, but the camera doesn't want to switch on because God doesn't want to switch on. God doesn't want to get any evidence, so obviously it switched off and wouldn't turn on until I passed. So there's been a load of bikes to erections and sexual cars and sick cars, and also I've just had a laser wrench on my eye. Right, so since I've been back home, there's been 25 minutes of aggressive banging by Peter, which includes breaking in, injecting your HIV, being shot dead, being fucking knifed, and child rapist, and saying that you're another child molester or whatever. Molested Sadie, molested Gracie. Right after that, the bangs calmed down, but there's 2.5 hours of about 100 plus threats, and most of the things that are being said: you're being injected, you're dead, said you're being busted, you're having a fucking break-in, happy fucking New Year, you're a child rapist as well, Justin, sick cunt being busted, and obviously you've got the smell of unflushed toilet smell as well.